Hey, what's up, guys? It's Richie from Boston. Today is I think it's the 19th, Tuesday, whatever, Tuesday the 18th, and I just finished installing this and testing this for a subscriber. It's an infrared heating system that runs on propane that keeps the greenhouse from freezing in the winter months. And, well, there you go. You get it. I was taking a little break from it, riding my mountain bike around just to get my knees moving because I'm old and, you know, you got to keep things moving. And this popped in my head. I met a bunch of you guys out here on Sunday. The turnout was amazing. The people were amazing. The caliber of people, nurses, doctors, roughnecks, barbers, gun shop owners, etc., etc. It was just awesome. It was a great turnout, and it was cool to meet all you guys. So that night, though, if you guys remember, I had to bail because I stayed there for 4 hours chatting and whatnot. But I did all the selfies with everybody, and then I had to bail because I had to go put the shocks in my truck. Remember me saying that? So I go put the shocks in my truck at a friend of mine's house who lives out here. And around 6 o'clock at night, he's cracking a few cold ones. And that's cool. That's cool. I got this. All I needed was the space to work. So around 8:30 comes, and I've had a hard time with the front shocks. And it's dark out. It's dark outside, you know. And he asked me a few things like, hey, what can I do to help? And I'm like, dude, just do me. I tried to say as nicely as I could. Don't interrupt me so I can finish this and not forget anything. So to keep him busy, I said, hey, well, you can go back if you want and double check all the bolts, nuts and bolts that we did. There's only 10 bolts, 10 nuts altogether to put the shocks on. And we took the 2 rear tires off. So I'm concerned about buttoning everything up, cleaning up his driveway. I don't want to leave a mess in this kid's driveway. That's rude. His wife will kill me. And I screwed up big time because I didn't double check what I asked him to check. And while I'm driving, I'm not even 2 miles away from his house. I can hear a weird noise coming from the back, and I'm just like, Richie, you're just paranoid, dude. You're just paranoid. And suddenly, my truck drops, and my rear tire passes me. It goes through barbed wire off into a pasture 200 yards away. The truck's dragging on the ground, and I'm blowing sparks into the sky. And nobody got hurt. I jacked the truck back up with my high lift jack and then a floor jack while I'm parked in a ditch. It managed to get the tire back on. The lug nuts are just gone. They're not in his house. They're not anywhere. They're just gone. So now I got to fix my truck. My rotor's destroyed. The brand new rear shock I just put on is ground down to a nub. Where the shock mounts to my axle is ground down. So I got to deal with that. And I will. And I am. At any rate, I'm riding my bike around, you know, getting my knees bending and stuff because I've been having a tough time with my knees the last couple of days for whatever reason. And it just popped into my head. A lot of people that are awake are also, it's an unusual proportion. A lot of people that are awake are also ex or current drug addicts, alcoholics, or severely abused people, whether by their parents, physically, mentally, sexually, or by somebody else. We're all kind of damaged according to society's norms. And it just popped in my head that the reason we're all damaged is we all might be, I don't want to say special because that puts me in it and I ain't special. But we're all different. We don't care if we blend in, if society approves of us, or if we get good grades even though we know how to do the work, etc. That was always my case. But check this out. It seems like all the damaged people may have been here for a reason for this exact time right now. And while we were growing up, we were being demonically attacked from left, right, and center. From addiction, from evil parents, evil sisters, uncles, whatever, evil people. Because what's the first thing that happens when you get clean from drinking or drug addiction? You find God. And then if you keep with it and keep with it, inevitably, somebody that's always been close to you tries to convince you that, well, now that you're clean, you don't need this crutch anymore of God. Do you see what I'm saying? We get clean, we get sober, we get our minds right no matter what, whether it's from, a lifetime of abuse. We get our heads straight, and somebody always tries to convince us that you don't need God, and we always go back to him. I don't know what that means, but I had to put it down on video because that just popped into my head, and I hope I said it correctly. But I'll tell you what, I got a funny feeling we're all here for a reason. And Steve Quayle, Rob Skiba, Russ Dizdar, that's a really coincidental space of time, man. And I've met every single solitary one of them. Every one of them. Russ Dizdar's hands were like a bunch of bananas. And Russ dealt with people that had demons. So Russ went in there. You could see it in his eyes, man. I met him when I went to Tennessee with Anthony Patch years ago. But I don't even know if this means anything, but I'll tell you what. Maybe the reason our lives were so hard is because someone was trying to keep us from doing what we got to do right now. And for some reason, we're still here. How crazy is that? It's crazy, right? Sounds totally batshit crazy. But it popped into my head, and I had to put it on video. Shit, that's how my life works. So the fact that doing 40 miles an hour in a 37-inch tire, a tire this big, right here, came off and passed me. I said it that day. My biggest fear is always having one of my tires come off and go down the highway and kill somebody. I say it all the time. I said it that day, and then it happened that night. It's a trip. It's an absolute trip. The truck's damaged, but it could have been way worse, man. You know what I mean? At any rate, I'm out here helping out an older couple. They're really good people. They're really, really good people. And like I said, I've been thinking about these times that are coming, because it's coming. It's happening. It's happening. Mandatory. I look at the Yahoo News blurb thing this morning on the internet. Football coach fired because he won't take. Everything in there is about the woman denied she needs to get life-saving surgery. Denied because she won't take the. This, that, and the other thing. It's just unbelievable. They are going to do this where you can't do anything, and you need to be ready for that, because when it comes, it'll be too late to say, remember the time we told you? You wouldn't be able to get gas, food, interact with your children, get them back from school, drop your kids off from school, you go to pick them up again, and you can't, because you can't prove you got. You see what I'm saying? There's a couple of nurses that showed up at the meetup on Sunday, and they're in the boat where they have to give up their multi-decade careers in nursing because they will not get. It's a trip, and I ran it by them. 70,000 people fired in one state out of 51 states in the country. Out of one state, 70,000 people. That's a lot of people, but you know what? That's even worse. It's a lot of troops. And right now, currently, they're going after the police, because when the police don't take, and now they have a police shortage, guess who's going to be policing the streets of America? Exactly who I told you was going to be: the military. At any rate. Use the link down below. Get ways to filter water at bare minimum and get food, because you're not going to get any more warning than you're getting right now, whether you hear it or not. Richie from Boston. We're here for a reason, I think. Or maybe we're all just batshit crazy. I'm out.